On Deputy Maureen O'Sullivan.
I think we all accept that transparency and accountability are very fine principles, but we're hearing the words so much and possibly going into overuse that I think there's a danger of them becoming clichés and so meaningless. But I don't think we can allow that to happen, because transparency and accountability are very much part of democracy and the democratic process. And I think this bill is also contributing to transparency and accountability. So b'while am there's hurt the number in Chakta Dáil Shane Ross Agora and Villa Show. I was also struck by Article 35, by one aspect of it, which was that judges shall be independent in the exercise of their judicial functions. And I think it makes sense that the process of appointing judges is also an independent process, and that it's visibly independent. Now, various comments are being made about decisions that judges have made, judges within our system. Like any system, human nature and the subject to human nature, and there's absolutely no doubt that decisions over time made by judges have been criticised by civil society groups, by organisations and by individuals where they were most unhappy with those decisions. So I think that taking the appointment out of the political arena can only enhance democracy. Individual members of the judiciary over time have been expressing their own concerns about the present system. For example, the European Network of Councils for the Judiciary issued the Dublin Declaration on standards for recruiting and appointing, and Chief Justice Denham saw it as a possible new standard for appointing judges. And the Minister himself also welcomed that declaration, and I quote from him when he said, "A better architecture can be put in place than exists at present." And I think this is part of that architecture. Now, in the public consultation that he had initiated, there were a number of themes. But again, Chief Justice Denham came back to one that he had omitted, which was the need to recruit persons of highest quality and ability to the judiciary. So the judges themselves from each of the courts are also supportive of and calling for a different process for judicial appointments. And we know that we're losing so much confidence in our systems and in our institutions. So I think it's vital that we start the process of restoring confidence, and taking the appointment of judges out of the hands of the governing political parties, I think, is a step in the right direction. Now, again, I was struck by a quote from one of the justices. It is increasingly clear that the relative success of the administration of justice in Ireland has been achieved in spite of rather than because of the appointment system. But I think the other telling word in that quote is the use of the word relative success. So, I mean, they're also saying that there are difficulties within the system. I think the current system is a flawed process. Now, and one further quote, that the process of judicial appointment should first and foremost enhance the principle of judicial independence, upon which the rule of law in our democracy is built. And I think that's what Deputy Ross's bill is doing. But there was one part of the judge's submission that I found really disquieting and disturbing, and it's where they're talking about the point that high-quality experienced candidates won't be attracted to the bench because of recent changes to their pensions. Now, I think judges are very well paid, and I think they can look after their own pensions from the remunerations that they have. I support the idea of the broad spectrum of society. I'm a bit reservations about it going to an Oireachtas committee. I would actually prefer to see the whole system taken out of the hands of anybody in political life. Thank you.